Life is good. What can I say? Life is good. Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Table Talk with Benor, where healing is always on the table. I'm not gonna lie, I've tried to record this video like 10 times already, and I'm just not feeling it. It's not that I'm not feeling the message behind this video, is that I'm not feeling the way I'm delivering it. So we're gonna try again. And first off, it has been a crazy week in the best way possible. I haven't seen you guys in such a long time. So much has happened. So let's just catch up. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. And happy birthday. If it was your birthday, blase, blase, all that good stuff. With that being said, I am so excited to bring this message to you. I know it doesn't sound like it, but this message is so important to me. It's, you can't steal my sunshine. So the reason why this message is so near and dear to my heart is because I get this comment all the time. People are always like, Benor, are you related to Angelina? I'm kidding. I was like, that was so corny. People always tell me I'm so happy. Life is good. What can I say? Life is good. Life is good. And so I get that comment a lot, but what actually caused this video is an event that happened at my job. So I had a coworker who said, oh, you're always happy. And I said, gee, thanks, thanks. And then he said, you must not have really gone through something if you're that happy. That bothers me. Because it's not true. It's like, why is it that happiness equates no pain? Like you haven't experienced anything. It's not true. Amanda Ferguson puts it this way. Some of the pretty faces have the ugliest stories. And it's true. It's very true. So I told him that's not true. I've gone through a lot. I've just learned to smile through whatever comes my way. For example, a lot of you guys don't know this about me, but I grew up without a father, and that affected me for a long time until this year when God, oh, he is so good. When God revealed such a powerful Bible verse that just helps me through a lot of situations. Actually, I'm going to read it to you guys right now because I feel like there's a lot of people, sadly, who have that in common. We have that in common, where this generation, not just this generation, but it seems like there's a lack of fathers. And so there's a lot of people hurting, suffering from daddy issues, abandonment issues. I was one of them until, like I said, God laid this Bible verse on my heart. So I'm going to share it with you guys before we move on. It's Psalms 27:10, actually. Got to get my reading voice ready. Although my father and my mother have abandoned me. So this is even for people whose mothers have abandoned them. So for mother and father wounds, although my mother and my father have abandoned me, yet the Lord will take me up, which means to adopt me as a child. The Lord will never forsake you. But I just learned this, at the end of last year, because it's 2022 now. I just learned this at the end of last year, and the Lord would never forsake me. But before I knew about this, I struggled with daddy issues for the longest time. And because I lacked the presence of a father, I sought male attention for the longest time, right? Every girl needs validation. They want validation from their daddy, And because of that, I trusted someone, an uncle in my family, that did not have good intentions for me. And I ended up being molested by him. There was a period of time in my life where I would go to school and get bullied, right? and then come home and get molested. I was trying to escape home, trying to escape school, and there was nowhere for me to go. So I started looking for, little things, distractions to take the pain away, because I was in so much pain. The first time I self-harmed was in high school. I actually one time had the suicide hotline call me. I didn't know they could do that. After that, I started drinking, I started smoking, I started using men for an escape. And that went on for years. I've gone through a lot. And so many people have gone through a lot, and sadly far worse than I have gone through. But something that I have been learning and working on and realizing, actually my mom told me this, it stuck with me. I don't know who the original author is. If I did know, I would credit them. But since I don't know, the author is my mom until further notice. 10% of life is what happens to you. The other 90% is how you react to what happens to you. Sadly, there's some horrible things that happen in life, right? But what good does it do to bask in that sadness? What good does it do? I could have sat in that sadness and said, poor me. This happened to me. Poor me, right? And what good would that have done? It happened. Should I press pause on my life and stay there forever? The world doesn't pause. I don't want to say nobody cares, because it's not that case, but it's like the world doesn't stop. Things keep going on. The world keeps moving. The world kept moving. The world kept moving. You have to force your mind. It's dominion over your mind. So when I say you have to constantly and consistently keep your mind in check of what to think, when to think it, and how to think it, it's tedious, but it's worth it. Because if you let your mind run rampant for even a second, do you ever realize sometimes you're like, oh, I'm just driving down the street, it's such a lovely day, it's so pretty. Oh, what if a tractor trailer comes and hits me and I die? Don't allow your mind to go to dark places. And especially if you don't catch it quickly, it just goes darker and darker and darker, and it sinks. The thoughts that I used to have in my mind were so dark. But then I said, no, I'm not going to think that. No, that's not the case. That doesn't have to be the case. And that's what I'm trying to tell you guys. It doesn't have to be the case. In life, there is a choice. You can choose to be happy despite what happens to you, or you can choose to be sad. The choice is yours. I chose to be happy. I chose to say that no matter what happens, no matter if I have a horrible customer at work, I'm a server, so no matter if I have a horrible customer at work, that doesn't have to affect my attitude. I only have control over myself. I don't have control over them. You don't know, and half the time it doesn't have to do with you. Half the time the way people react does not have to do with you. Everyone is going through their own situations and their own problems. So once you're able to get control over your outburst or your feelings or your emotions or how you handle or react to something, you get control over your life, is what I'm trying to say. I was able to realize, yes, what happened to me was horrible. Yes, what happened to me was very unfortunate. But that's not who I am. You have to know who you are. That's also so important. Do you know who you are? And sometimes to be happy, you have to be the bigger person. All right, that happened. Cool. I'm not going to stress about it. It's okay. Still love you. It's all right. Because no one can steal your joy unless you allow them to. And you know what's even crazier? There are so many perks and rewards of always being happy. A study that was done that, and I can attest to this. Let me tell you, child, I can attest to this. There was a study done that places of work will rather keep a happy employee who is always cheerful, boosts morale in the workplace, who is not the best at their job, who actually sucks at their job, than the best employee who is mopey and has a horrible attitude. Nobody wants to be around you when you are sad. You know why? Because then they feel sad. There's certain people that when you get from around from a long time, you're just like, bro, they drained my energy. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Like, they drain you. So back to that study. I am living proof. I'm not proud of this. I'm not promoting or advocating for this type of work behavior, but I'm just saying that I had a problem with going to work on time and coming back from break on time. And so, but the difference is I would go in late, but as soon as I see anyone, good morning, everybody. How are you? Just like, hi, everyone, with such a cheerful attitude. I was like, everyone was just like, oh, hi, Benor. And I don't want to say you get away with a lot of things when you're happy, but there's some benefits of being happy to the point where, like, even the boss at the place, I would be sneaking in trying to be, ooh, I hope you didn't see me, I'm late, right? And I'd be like, good morning. And he's like, Benor, how are you? And I'm just like, you don't see that I'm 30 minutes late? And I'm just like, hey. But like I said, there are people who just have such a nasty attitude. They're just unhappy, and you don't want them in your area. There's certain people you talk to, they just drain you. But then there's someone where even if you're having a bad day and you see them and they just smile at you, instantly, you're like, I feel better. Happiness is contagious. But your sadness is not contagious to me because I have control over my happiness, right? So it's very important that no matter what happens, whatever situation arises, that you choose to be happy. Do you hear me? That you choose to be happy. Always. Because like I said, you don't have control over what happens outside, but you do have control of what happens in here, in you, in yourself. I really want to challenge you guys. Make a lifestyle change today that no matter what happens, you will choose to be happy. You can do this. You can do all things through what? Christ. All things through who? Christ, who strengthens you. So be strengthened, be happy, and be full of joy.